Perfect. Thank you so much. Welcome, everyone. Thank you so much for joining. I'm actually in the office at uni today, so I hope you can hear me clearly. My name is Marissa. I'm one of the representatives at RBS, and I'm here with Letty, one of our student ambassadors. Let me just share my screen because you need to give me screen sharing access. I'll just do a short RBS presentation. And after that, I will ask Letty to take a few minutes to share her experience as a current RBS student. And after that, we will have time for Q&A because now's the time we are here. So make sure to ask all of your questions. Can you make sure that I can share my screen?
Yes, you will be made co-host in a minute. Oh. Are you able to share the screen now?
Yes, perfect.
Super.
Alrighty. So before I start going into detail about RBS, I quickly wanted to share this with you. Because in the Netherlands, there are actually two types of universities that you can choose from with your Romanian diploma. There are universities of applied sciences like us, and there are research universities. Both of the universities are really good. I mean, all of the programs are accredited internationally, but it's really about the approach. If you were to study at a University of Applied Sciences, it would be a more practical, more profession-oriented type of education. So there's an internship, there's a lot of group work, it's a lot of doing. And if you were to study at a research university, it would be more theoretical, more academic, more individual. And also only 3 years because usually there's no internship included. So that's the main difference is in the approach. They're both good, so it's really up to you what sort of education fits you best and where you see yourself later on. So I just wanted to share this with you so you're aware of the two choices that you have. So RBS is part of Rotterdam University of Applied Sciences. We're one of the bigger universities in the country. But for the business school, we have two separate locations. So in that way, you don't feel like you're part of this massive university. More importantly, we are located in Rotterdam. Rotterdam is Europe's largest port city, so it's really perfect for international business. Not only because we are literally surrounded by companies, but also because it's a very nice city to be in as an international student. Because in Rotterdam, we have students or people from over 170 different nationalities. So it's pretty much the entire world in one city. So that creates a really nice international vibe and a really nice dynamic and just a nice environment for our students to be in. That's also why many of our international students actually have part-time jobs, even though they don't speak Dutch. That's because the majority here in Rotterdam of the people speaks English. So if you want to work for a restaurant or a retail or a call center and you don't speak Dutch, then that's not a problem. As we are University of Applied Sciences, there's a lot of group work involved, especially from the second year onwards. Of course, in the third year, there's an internship. You're going to do your exchange in the fourth year. So it's very hands-on. It's a lot of doing. And of course, in an international environment. We're already in Rotterdam, very international city, but also within your classroom, we have an international environment where 30 to 50% of our students is international and comes from over 63 different countries. So very valuable, especially for after graduation, if you have to function or if you have to work for an international company, whether that's here in the Netherlands or abroad, super valuable experience. All of our lecturers are from the business field. So that's why, after 4 years of studying at RBS, you have a really nice network to make use of because all of our lecturers, they're still working in business. Some of them still have their own companies. So it's very useful. And then also, especially after 2 years of COVID, we have really good support system for our students. It already starts during introduction week where you will be assigned a buddy and a mentor, but we also work with peer coaches, counselors, our student ambassadors like Letty, and also RISA or International Student Association. This is just an overview of where everything is located. So for the masters, they're located more towards the east, and then for the bachelors, they're located very close to the city center. You just need to cross the Erasmus Bridge. And then our dormitories are actually located in between. And I do want to address dormitories because the housing situation in the Netherlands is quite difficult because it's such a popular study destination. So make sure to start looking for housing as early as possible. Usually spring is a good time. Of course, we have dormitories for students, but it's very limited. So make sure to register for the dorms and then also start looking for alternative options. So international business is the bachelor program. It's a 4-year program. The first year is the same for all students. So in that way, you can get familiar with the 4 specializations that you can choose from at the end of the first year. Second year is put into practice what you've learned during the first year. So you might participate in an international project. You might start up your own import company. In the third year, there's an internship, which you can do in the Netherlands or outside of the country. And the fourth year is for exchange and of course, writing your graduation assignment for a company. And who knows what happens if you do well at the company. Besides the business subjects, there is also a big focus on your professional development. So you can expect subjects like critical thinking, self-reflection, intercultural competencies, just a lot of soft skills, which is really important as well. These are the 4 specializations that you can choose from. And then also in addition, you will have the opportunity to choose a language. It's not mandatory, but it's really nice that you have that opportunity and that you can actually also go to the country of the language that you choose. As an international student, you will get Dutch in your program, but you have the opportunity to choose an additional language. This is an overview, financial overview. Of course, it depends a little bit on your own spending behavior, but in general, it's around 800 to 1,000 euros per month that you will spend on groceries, going out, rent, all of those things. Part-time job, we quickly addressed it, but as an EU citizen, there are no limitations when it comes to having a part-time job. Many of our students have part-time jobs, but of course, we don't recommend to get a part-time job right away because everything is new. So give yourself some time to get used to that. Rotterdam is a very nice city to be in as an international student, also because when it comes to sports, there's a lot to do. The master location, we share that one with Erasmus University, the Research University, and our students can also take part in one of the there are over 20 sport clubs that you can become a member of, and for a very reasonable fee, you can make unlimited use of the facilities. We also work with student ambassadors, which is also a part-time job for them. And then every year we have a new team of student ambassadors. And of course, RISA, we also work with RISA is our International Students Association. And they organize a lot of events throughout the year, not only social events like parties, but also a lot of networking events. And especially now, since everything is opening up again, there are new events happening. So it's really nice. I'm just gonna leave it at this because I want to have enough time for Letty and also for all of your questions. So Letty, maybe I can just ask you as a current student to take a few minutes to share your experience at RBS.
Of course. Well, first of all, hello everybody. My name is Decizia. I'm a second-year student studying international business at Rotterdam Business School. I'm 20 years old. I'm from Romania, so I can relate to most of you here who are having this webinar to get to know our university better, because I did the same when I was in your place. Something about my student experience so far at Rotterdam Business School. Everything has been really good for me. I really love the applied sciences university and what it implies, so that I work practical and also informational. So I get to be part in a lot of team projects. I get to meet a lot of new people. So that's really interesting for me. And what can I say? Everything that I've done so far has helped me a lot. And for example, because after your first year you have to choose your specialization. I chose mine, and my specialization is organization and change. So I get to be a senior consultant, let's call it like that, for an actual company that's here from the Netherlands. And I get to work with them. I get to identify a problem along with my team and try to resolve it. And we actually had a meeting this week with the client, and he was very pleased with our outcomes. So yeah, everything here is very applied. You will get to see work for a first client from your second year already. And yeah, the next years are very exciting as well. For example, in my situation, I will leave for Spain for my exchange in September. So I will spend the next 6 months in Valencia, actually. So I'm very happy about that. And when I come back, of course, I have to find an internship for me, but I still have time to do that. That's about my experience, I guess. About the other stuff like housing and monthly payments and so on. As Marissa said, it depends on you actually. When it comes to how much you'll spend a month, it depends on what kind of person you are, if you're a spender or not. But yeah, for example, if I was to give you my experience with that, I usually have a budget per month of 1,000 euros. 500 go to my accommodation, and the rest 500 is for me to spend on food, going out, whatever I might need in that month. Yeah, and I think that's about it.
Thank you so much, Letty. I think we have time for questions now, guys. So if you have any questions about housing, about finances, about student life, about the program, please feel free to either unmute yourself or just put them in the chat.
We are more or less 60 people here, so if you feel comfortable, you can all, I don't know, raise a hand and unmute yourself and ask whatever you want. I think it's better to do it like that. Oh, somebody is already asking us if it was hard to find rent, probably for them.
Yeah, in my first year, as Marissa mentioned, I lived in the dorms, so I went for a room in the dorms, well, which I loved. The dorms are really nice here, and I really enjoyed my time. I also got to meet there my actual roommate, actually, because I was lucky to be paired with also a Romanian girl, and we got along really well. And now in our second year, we decided to move together. So in my first year, it was very easy for me. It was just the dorm. It wasn't a hard process, but of course, after the first year, you have to move out because, yeah, a new bunch of students are coming. So yeah, in my second year, it was quite a ride. It was not impossible, of course. But one tip that I can give you all is to start looking from quite early. And yeah, go for viewings. Don't trust just photos and stuff. So make sure that everything is okay before you sign anything.
Okay, there are two other questions in our chat. How do you apply for the dorms? Somebody asks us.
Yes, so usually dormitory registration opens mid-May. It's actually on the website. I think the exact date, but usually it's mid-May. So everyone who has sent in their application documents, they will receive an email with the exact day and time to register for the dorms. But yeah, of course, we have more students than rooms, so it's really it's quite limited, and it's really based on first come, first serve.
Mm-hmm. How was, Letizia, for you, the application process? Laura is asking us if you did it by yourself or maybe with the help of a counselor, probably.
I mean, it wasn't very hard, but I did it with the help of a counselor, actually, with an EDMUNDO counselor. So I was very happy to be part of this today. But the application process is not difficult at all. It can be managed, of course, when you have someone to ask questions, all of the questions that you might have. It's really helpful, I can say that. But otherwise, the application is not difficult.
Mhm. Okay. Somebody else is asking us about the math bachelor degree. If we don't have math in the bachelor degree, probably Vlad wanted to write down a baccalaureate degree. So when you apply to the university, if you need mathematics in the baccalaureate, in the Romanian baccalaureate.
No, you don't need it. The only thing you need in your for your baccalaureate is diploma that you passed everything and that you succeeded in the end. So you don't need any grades that's on the diploma. You don't need any subjects. You just need a diploma. That's it.
Excellent. Okay. Another question from our chat is, how much is a year at the college?
Well, it's on the website. So that's very easy, but it's around 2,000 euros. And then the first year is around 1,000 because there's a discount. So first year around 1,000 euros, second year around 2,000.
What was the most difficult aspect that you faced since you started your studies, Leticia?
Well, I guess study related. I don't know. I don't have like a very difficult moment in my head that I passed because everything went really easy for me. And I think the transition that the school offers a student from semester to semester, from year to year, are very nicely done, so that you don't have something that impacts you very, very strong in a moment. Like everything goes gradually, excepting, of course, with the projects, with the information that you receive. So there's no a moment where you think that you're overwhelmed, like it's too much, because you kind of grow to the final goal of the year, for example.
Okay. There is a question again about mathematics. Do you have it as a subject in Rotterdam Business School?
No, you don't have it. You have subjects such as finance or economics. They're not too deep. So for the ones who are graduating from high school that's not that doesn't involve math, you don't have to worry about it. I also graduated at such a high school, but no, you don't have to worry about it. The subjects are quite easy to follow. So even though you don't have the, I don't know, any knowledge in maths, there's no problem.
Excellent. Okay. I'm trying to filter somehow the questions because some are repetitive. So basically, you don't need mathematics in the baccalaureate exam, and you don't need it as an extra test to be presented somehow to Rotterdam Business School in order to get admitted. Okay, and you will not have mathematics as a subject in the university. Okay, good. How was the transition from the Romanian education system to the one in the Netherlands?
Well, what I can say from the start is the fact that there are two separate, different ways of teaching, ways of learning. One of the main reasons why I chose to follow applied science university was because I wanted a change from the usual Romanian style of teaching. So the transition is quite big. Once you're gonna be here, you're gonna see how different it is to be a student who doesn't have any boundaries when it comes to developing and dreaming about whatever you want to do during your studies or after. So what I didn't expect was the fact that everybody around me wanted me to succeed. So it's not like in Romania where teachers just, I don't know, come to teach you something and then they just go out and that's it. No, here the teachers that you have in your class are your friends. You can go talk to them. They're very open. They're open to help you with everything you might need. And that really struck me because in Romania, I wasn't used to have such a connection with a teacher. But here, when I came and everybody was so open, everybody just wants to help you, wants you to succeed again. So I think that's really important because we have a support that we didn't have until I came here, for example. And yeah, the way of learning in general, because I was used to a more theoretical learning. So I was used to just go study whatever we had to study, go to the exam, write everything I know, and then go back home and probably, I don't know, remember not even 10%. But here it's not like that because you are learning through applying. So yeah, after the, I don't know, let's say the first 2 projects, you're gonna get the hang of it. Of course, it's different, but in the same time, you're gonna see how easy it is for you to just go to class, get the information there, and once you apply it, you already know it. So that really struck me, the fact that I can remember the things that I learned through what I did. And yeah, that was really, that really struck me because I wasn't used to that at all. You're muted.
Sorry. Is it hard to get a scholarship in the Netherlands as a student? Have you had this opportunity?
I think you're referring to the grant and the loan, maybe, because as an EU student, if you check geo.nl, I will put it in the chat in a few minutes. You know, there is a grant and then also loan that you can apply for. There are some conditions, because to get the extra money, you also need to have a part-time job. So you have to work 56 hours per month. But yeah, it's the money comes from the government, Dutch government. So that's not something that RBS does for you. So that's really something you need to arrange yourself via Geo. I'm putting the link in the chats right now.
Okay, so basically, RBS does not give scholarships, but it is possible to obtain a grant from Duo.
Yeah, definitely.
Is it required to have an English test? Anna is asking us. It's wiser to have IELTS, Cambridge Advanced, or TOEFL. But if you can, if you want, you can use the English from the baccalaureate, from the Romanian baccalaureate. Okay, so basically, of course, you can invest your time and energy and money in an IELTS or Cambridge Advanced or TOEFL, because it's always better to get prepared and somehow improve your English via these tests. But you can also opt for the English competencies within the Romanian baccalaureate exam. So it's not a must, but we definitely recommend you to take an IELTS exam, for instance. Anyway, on Rotterdam Business School's website, there is this part where you can actually see entry requirements, and among those, you can see some entry requirements for the English part. Okay, good. Are we able to join the university if our country is not in the EA, in the European Union?
Yes, of course. We have many international students from inside the EU, but also from outside of the EU. So definitely possible to apply.
Okay, so basically, also international people are welcome at Rotterdam Business School. I believe there is nonetheless a change in terms of the fees, the tuition fees. Okay,
that's true. Yeah. Yeah, so there is for students who don't have EU nationality, it's a bit higher. It's around 10,000 euros per year.
Good. So Vlad, we were talking about this. You should check the university's website in order to see exactly what's the minimum level at Cambridge Advanced. He's asking us if we can tell him. I don't remember the points, but there are stated on the website. And of course, RBS does accept the English baccalaureate exam. Okay. Is it wiser to choose TOEFL instead of IELTS or Cambridge Advanced? What's your opinion?
I think it's a bit difficult for us to answer that. Maybe you can help with that.
Did you have an international English exam taken, or
yeah, I did the IELTS one. I chose it because for me it was I don't know, it was more convenient at the time, I think, because I needed the diploma faster, and the Cambridge was like later in the year. But yeah, among like every exam should work. So it depends on you. It depends if you want to do the Cambridge, if you want to do the IELTS. From what I know, all the diplomas are looked in the same. So I don't think, I mean, as a student, I don't think there's a big difference.
Okay. So basically you can choose whatever you want.
Yeah,
whatever you feel comfortable preparing on. What is the next deadline for admissions?
Well, I'm sure EDMUNDO can inform you about the whole process, but in general, we always say make sure to apply before May 1st. Of course, for EU students, the official deadline is July 31st, but the quicker the better. So I would definitely say apply somewhere in the coming 2 weeks.
Is it mandatory to learn Dutch? Bianca is asking us.
Yes, as an international student, you will get Dutch in your program, but you will have the opportunity to choose an additional language for sure.
Okay, we have a question here about, once again, mathematics. Do you think that for a person which graduates in high school, in Romania, we have this philology class with maths courses in the last years of school? Is it possible to follow the courses without difficulty?
Yeah, so as I mentioned, I also graduated a philology profile, so I didn't have any problems with maths or with any subjects that involves numbers, because as you mentioned, like in our profile, you stop learning maths in, I think, the 10th grade, and then you have 2 years without any. But yeah, that's no problem. You can definitely participate and understand the lessons. Okay, so you don't have to worry about it.
Okay. Somebody is asking us what are the requirements for master programs. My advice is to go to the website, because Rotterdam Business School's website is quite clear, and you can basically see exactly what you need in order to get admitted to a master degree. But I believe the English requirements ask a certain level a bit higher than for the undergraduate programs. Okay. Is Dutch mandatory for all programs or just for some?
Dutch is mandatory for the bachelor program, so for international business.
So you will study Dutch while attending international business. Somebody is asking us this thing. In year 2 of the university, when we are going to choose wherever we are going to as a country, we have can we go to the USA?
So in the 3rd year, first semester is the internship, and then in the 4th year, the first semester is the exchange. And for the exchange, we have over 100 partner universities also in the States.
Okay, so basically in that part, they can have the opportunity to go to the USA. Okay, I believe I've managed to answer to all questions with your help. If there are more curiosities, please unmute yourself or write everything you want in our chat box. I see that mathematics is a very scary issue. So you don't need it, okay? This is the conclusion. 2 other questions for you, Letizia. Is there any real estate agents or agencies who can help finding an apartment?
From what I know, yes, there are quite some in the city, but students don't usually go for them because usually they're more expensive. So as a student, you don't want an accommodation that's very expensive for you. But yeah, what can I say? In a way, you have more certainty with them, but in the same time, you limit your options a lot. So if you're able to find something just by doing your research, do that.
Okay, and the question about jobs, is it difficult to find jobs where you can actually use English in the Netherlands during studies or after you graduate?
Yeah, I mean, of course, the benefit of studying at the University of Applied Sciences is the network that you will have after 4 years. The majority of our students finds a job within a year, I would say, at their level. So I won't say it's easy because it's never easy. You still have to look for it and do a job interview. But there are definitely a lot of opportunities here. Yes.
Okay. You said that at the end of the year, you have to choose your specialty. What are the options?
Yeah, so there are actually 4 of them. The first one is organizational change, which is the one that Letty is doing. Used to be international business and management, so it's the most general one. And it really focuses on the inner workings of a company. So what do you as a manager need to change within your organization to make sure that the company reaches its goals, whether that's becoming more sustainable, more profitable, whatever those goals may be. So it's quite general. Then there's marketing, which speaks for itself. There's commerce, and commerce is really the language track. So it's really mandatory to choose an additional language and then to also spend at least 1 semester in that country. There's supply chain, of course. Yeah, supply chain is really focused on logistics. We are based in Rotterdam, so it's really the specialty of the university. But yeah, all of them will be introduced to you in the first year. So after the first year, you have a good grasp of what the specializations are about and which one fits you best.
Excellent. Do you have a summer school program for high school students?
No, we don't have that. We do have a lot of webinars on YouTube. So if you want to get some more in-depth info, then I would definitely recommend to go to the YouTube channel, type in Rotterdam Business School, and all of the webinars are there, but there's no summer school or anything like that.
Okay. Tudor is asking us if there's a minimum degree you have to take in the Romanian baccalaureate. He's probably referring to grade. Yes. So I can answer to this. You don't have to, let's say, struggle for an 8 out of 10, but it would be expected from you to have, let's say, 7 at least, because this is, let's say, quite common grade in Romania. And 6 is the passing grade in Romania for the baccalaureate. So basically, you have to present a diploma to RBS. There isn't a minimum required from you, but I think 7 is something all students from Romania more or less achieve in baccalaureate. Okay.
Thanks a lot.
You're welcome, Tudor. How can a student find accommodation for the next year? How hard is it? And what are the costs for accommodation? Maybe Julian is referring to the situation of a second-year student. Am I right, Julian? Okay. Are you here? Can you, I don't know, answer very shortly?
Yeah, sure. Well, as I said before, it's quite you have to start from quite early when you want to get an accommodation in your second year. That means like in your first year you stayed in the dorms. As I said, it can be difficult, it can be very easy. I have friends who found the first place and they moved in like a week. And I have friends who did it in like a month. So it really depends on you. It depends on the apartment that you find. That's why I told you as a tip to make sure that the apartment is safe, that it exists first. So definitely go for reviewing, definitely meet the landlord, talk to him, see that everything is okay. Don't sign anything, don't sign a contract that is not in English. Just make sure that all the I don't know, like papers and everything is in place and it's okay. So yeah, don't put yourself in hard situation. Don't send any money before you have a contract. There are a lot of scams, of course, because we're students, we're desperate at some point, so they want to take advantage of that. But I say try to keep your calm. Don't stress about it too much, because you will find a place. Everybody finds a place. I don't know anyone who, I don't know, slept in the in Rotterdam Central, for example. No, there's no such situations. You'll find a place. You just need to be patient and yeah, keep trying.
Indeed. Vlad is asking us if we can make the application to Rotterdam Business School if we don't have yet the CAE, the Cambridge Advanced, or the back competencies. Yes, you can do that. It's actually what Marisa told us some minutes ago. She advised us to apply as soon as possible because we can receive a conditional offer, a conditional acceptance. So you can apply without, let's say, the English proof that you master this language. Okay. Okay. How early should we start preparing the application? My advice would be, Laura, to start preparing your application if you want to apply to undergraduate studies somewhere at the beginning of your last year of high school. And if you apply to a master, maybe you can do the same. So as soon as possible, applications for Rotterdam Business School open somewhere in September. And they are supposed to end the next 1st of May. Okay, so in May, the following year. Good. What else? Accommodation, we've covered it. Specializations also. I think that we have another question. Is there a model of the application on the website? A model. Maybe some information on the website. I'm pretty sure there are many useful information on the website. Or are you asking about something else? Can you unmute yourself? I hope Dennis is here with us. Okay. Anyway, from my experience of using Rotterdam Business School's website, I think the information is quite clear. So if you have a certain, let's say, undergraduate program or a master in your mind, you can always enter and see exactly what you can study there, the core, let's say, subjects, and also the entry requirements. Also, the details regarding the part related to English exams. What if we're not going to have a 7 as a degree in the baccalaureate? Maybe some of us are going to have like a 6. Is it bad? Somebody is asking us if it's possible to enter Rotterdam Business School with a 6 in the Romanian baccalaureate, which is basically the passing grade in this exam. From my experience, the answer is yes, you have all the chances to enter, but the important thing is for you to get very, very focused while attending the studies at Rotterdam Business School, because you will need to score quite high while attending the studies there. Okay, and there is this period when people somehow struggle from passing from the Romanian teaching system, let's say, which is a bit theoretical, to the one that Rotterdam Business School offers as a University of Applied Sciences, which is once again a more practical way of teaching, as Letizia explained. So Esma, yes, it's possible to enter with 6.
Thank you.
You're welcome. I'm so glad when people unmute themselves and enter in our conversation. Good. I believe all the questions have been answered. I hope I've managed to go through all of them. If you have any kind of other doubts, you can share them with us.
I have one question.
Yes.
Letizia, I'm so disappointed by the way teachers in Romania educate kids and the way they don't really want to evolve and get better at this. Exactly today, I just tried to talk with a teacher and explain to him that this way is old and we can try and do better stuff. And I'm just so disappointed at this point. Can you please tell me that in Netherlands is different?
Yeah, well, as I mentioned before, it really is different. It's not just some talks that we tell future students. No, it really is different. What I can tell you is that I have only good experience with the teachers that are in our university. They're very friendly. For example, my English teacher doesn't even want me to call him by like Mr. or teacher. No, he wants me to call by his name. So it's really, it was really strange for me at the beginning to call him Sam. And yeah, just stay in the class and then we shout out like, Sam, can you help me with that? And then, yeah, he comes. So you will see that the relation between student and teacher is different here. And I was very happy to, when I came here, the fact that I had someone to talk to, someone to share if I had any problems, someone to constantly be there by my side when it comes to my university problems or school related problems, let's call it like that. So it really is different here. I think everybody likes the transition between the Romanian way of teaching and the way that they do it here in the Netherlands, especially because of that. So teachers here are gonna be your friends. You will see, for example, now that I'm in my second year, now that teachers start to look at us differently, they start to look at us as friends. I once went to have a coffee with my Spanish teacher because we didn't see each other in a long time, and we were very happy to finally meet in person. So you're gonna see here that everything is different, and they're very open to feedback. They're gonna ask you for feedback very often, so you will be able to share wherever you don't agree with. If there's a problem, you can share it with them. You can share it with whoever you want. So that's definitely gonna change.
Thanks a lot. That's like very motivating to me to get this baccalaureate stuff and just come there and change this.
That's great.
Thanks.
I think we have a raised hand. Laura is trying to ask something.
Yes, I wanted to ask Leticia if she had a problem with the change in the system, because in Romania you learn what you're given, and I heard that in the Netherlands you need to find a lot of information by yourself. And how was the change for you?
I mean, it was definitely a change at the beginning, because as you said here, you have more focus on research and then applying what you found and all the information. So the teachers are not gonna come, as they're in Romania, give you all the information and then you write an essay about it or something. No, you will have to do a lot of research yourself. You will learn how to do it, so you don't have to worry about that. You will have research classes where they're gonna help you with starting this process, and you're gonna evolve with the research during your years of studies. So you don't have to worry about, I don't know, not being good at finding information online or not knowing which platform to use. That's gonna be covered. You don't have to worry about that. And the difference is gonna be major. That's one thing that I can tell you for sure. And from what I've heard and from what I experienced is the fact that all the Romanian students love the change and they embrace it. And I don't think I met anybody who was disappointed by the transition, because as I mentioned, you're not gonna have to study, I don't know, 24 hours. You will have a lot of free time for yourself. Of course, you will need to do self-study when you get home for your exam and stuff. But in the same time, you're only gonna go to university 4 days a week. So 1 day is gonna be free. That's really cool that we don't have in Romania. So yeah, you're gonna see here that the student life is gonna change. It's gonna take a major turn.
Thank you so much.
No problem.
Leticia, you sound like you are getting paid for this. This is like so great. I can't really believe it.
Yeah, sorry. Sorry if I sound, I don't know, systematic or something, but I'm not. I really like what I'm doing here. That's why I agreed to come share my experience with future students.
Yeah, and we have many Romanian students.
Yeah,
so
what I
you
can
can
tell
also
you-
just go to Facebook and find other students and ask them questions.
Yeah. We're quite a big Romanian community in the Netherlands, like in the whole country and in our university as well. So you don't have to worry about, I don't know, not getting being international and not being integrated in the groups. No, we don't have to worry about that.
Yeah, thanks. This is more like a joke, but you don't sound systematic. Your English is like really good.
Thank you.
Okay, and speaking about languages, Andra is asking us, were the language options shown in the PDF in the presentation shared by Marisa?
Yeah, so there are European languages. So there is Spanish, German, French. Then there's Asian languages, Balinesian, Mandarin, Japanese, Korean, and Vietnamese. There's around 9 languages to choose from, so a lot of options.
Okay, excellent. Well, if there are no other questions, the next moment will be a short presentation of Finns. Alex is here, my colleague, and he will walk you through this part.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. My name is Alex Raicha, and I'm a financial consultant for Finns. And I will try to present you a few details about our company, our services, the application process, the criteria that must be respected, and also the next steps. Let me just share my screen first. Can you see my screen? It's working?
Yes, it is.
Yes.
You can all see them.
Perfect. So Finn started a few years ago, and we believe our mantra is that the lack of money should not stop anyone from pursuing their educational dream. I will try to cover today a few key information about ourselves. I will try to tell you who are we, what do we do, what is the solution that we have for you for your studies, what is the how the whole process of application for a loan looks like, what are the criteria that must be respected, and also, as I've mentioned, the next step if you want to go further. So we've noticed that there is a huge financing gap in the Central and Eastern European Union for the students who are willing to go and study abroad. So we said, okay, we must find a way to solve that issue. That is how Finns was born. I will try to be quite briefly because we don't have much time, but I will try to present you just the key information that you must know before start the application process. So here we have a real example of 2 different individuals who want to pursue their educational, let's say, dream in 2 different countries with 2 different universities and, of course, 2 different programs. As you might be aware, there is a difference between the costs that are implied when it comes to study, let's say, in the UK, in France, or Netherlands, or different countries. That is why it's really important to know where you want to study, what's the program that you want to go for, and the university in Netherlands in your case. So the main advantages or why you should go for a loan from Fins instead of going to a bank, let's say, is that we have some truly noticeable advantages that must be taken into consideration. One of them is that there are no requirements for a prior employment or earnings history, no requirements for any real estate guarantee. Usually, you know that a bank will ask for, these details. We will not. You will have a grace period during your study period. After your study period, sorry. I will go later on and tell you more details about the structure of your loan. Basically, your loan will be flexible and it can be used for your tuition fees, which is the most important cost from your student experience, but also all the other costs that are relating to the student experience in terms of rent, food, transport, and other expenses. How you will basically use the money from us is up to you in terms of you will have a customized budget in which you will have to think, okay, how much money will I need for the food? How much money will I need for the rent, for the utilities, transport, internet, mobile phone? So the fact that it's customized, it is definitely an advantage. And also, something that is truly important is that the way you will pay the loan, the repayment period, will be structured in a way that will be affordable to you. Between 10 and 5 years is usually the period of the repayment. And of course, an exceptional customer service with the help of the team from EDMUNDO. They will help you in your documentation process and application process overall. In order for you to have a better overview about us, Fins, EDMUNDO, Universalio, RIUF, and YUF are all owned by the Group Educativa. So that is why we, Fins, benefit from free counseling service from EDMUNDO in the application process, because we all work together. Yeah, usually I make this recommendation for those who are not quite sure, about the city or the university they will go to study in. These two fantastic websites can show you the living cost difference between different cities. You can see how much you would spend on the food, on a cappuccino in different cities from the same country or even different countries. Good. On the website, which I will try to show you now, you have a section, Apply Now. You can see all the documents that are necessary in order for you to apply for a loan. The website is not working apparently. But also, one of the most essential, I would say, part of your application is the budget. So your budget will be structured in two different categories. The first one is the cash outflows and the second one is the cash inflows. The first one refers to your tuition fee and all the other costs that are relating to your student experience, rent, food, and the ones that I've mentioned earlier. The second one will be all about the money you will receive, let's say, from your family during your study period, from a part-time job, from your personal savings, scholarships if you're going to win any one of them. It's truly important this budget to be done in the most, let's say, accurate and honest manner, because it is truly important when we will go over this document to see justifications for how you will spend each amount of money that you need to borrow from Fins. Perfect. The amount of money that you can borrow, the maximum amount of money, is the same for both undergraduate and postgraduate studies. You can take this amount of money for 3 or 4 years of studies, or for 1 or 2 years in terms of master. There are also some special cases where there are students who, let's say, they go for med school and they will need for 6 years, you know, as long as you will go into this amount of money for the whole study period, it's fine. We can also do that for 6 years. But taking into consideration that this is only the maximum that you can borrow for the whole study period, not just for 1 year. And this is my favorite part. So the structure of your loan basically looks like this. You can take a picture also if you want, because it's really important to discuss with your parents or with your family about this. So during your study period, you will not have to pay the loan. You will have to pay only a monthly interest and a monthly administration fee. That is all you pay during your study period. One essential information is that you will have to pay a one-time evaluation or granting fee after you will receive the answer from us that yes, your loan request was approved. So you'll have to pay a one-time fee of 250 euros before your first installment, like before the first amount of money that you will receive from us. But that is just one time. Then during your study period, you will only pay a monthly interest and an administration fee of 15 euros. Regarding the interest, it's really important to understand that your loan will start with, let's say, a 10.5, 11.5 interest, and then it will change in the repayment period. But you will pay this monthly interest based on the interest from the beginning, which will be 10 or 10.5 or 11.5, as I've mentioned. Then the second, let's say, part of your loan will be the grace period. So after you will finish your studies, you will have a grace period of 6 months or 12 months, 6 months for undergraduate, 12 months for the master program. In these 6 months, basically, you will still have to pay that monthly interest and the 15 euros, which are the administration fee, but you will not start repaying the loan, basically. After these 6 months or 12 months of grace period, you will have the repayment period. Now it's basically the time when you start repaying the loan. After the first 6 months of repaying this loan, your interest will decrease. If all the payments are, respecting the deadline and if all of them are done according to the plan, from the 7th month, your interest will decrease. So that means that you will pay less. If there are questions, you can ask me now or even later at the end of the presentation. Okay. But before we go there, I have one recommendation for you. In order for you guys to have a better image about what your plan may look like, you can start by using the loan calculator from the website from FINS. It is basically a sneak peek or a demo, like to see what the plan will look like. What's an interest, how much you will have to pay the interest, how your plan will basically be structured. So that's my recommendation for you in the beginning. You will receive on the email, after you choose the amount of money that you want to borrow, the period of the loan, you will receive on your email this loan plan. This is really, really good in the beginning. It's not the most accurate, but it's a good start. Later on, after you will send your application, you will receive, it's called indicative offer, personalized indicative offer, which will be closer to the actual reality of your loan. That version will be basically more accurate regarding your situation in terms of the installments, the interest, and everything in between. The criteria. So basically, one of the main rules is that you must be an EU citizen so that you can apply for a FINS loan. You must have no other debts towards a financial institution and apply for a university in Europe, which you do. These are the three main rules. There are also other rules for other countries like United Kingdom or Switzerland, but it's not the case here. Okay, so the application process. Usually after this session, which I have with students, I send them to EDMUNDO, and from there the girls will take over. Basically, will help you with your documentation part. They will be there for you in case you forget about a document, in case you don't know how to complete that particular document. They will help you on your budget. And for example, I chose my university and my program with EDMUNDO, so they're a fantastic team, and please take advantage of their input because it's for free. And they're amazing. Then you will submit your application. We will try in 48 hours or 72 hours to evaluate your application. If we have all the information needed, if everything is done correctly, if there are no missing pieces at all, we will send an invitation interview. You will have an interview with a member from our team. After the interview, you will receive the answer if it's yes, or if there are still things that must be improved when it comes to your application. If the answer is yes, we will sign a loan contract, and we try to make this process, quite optimized and very efficient, so that you guys don't waste time, because we know that you need money until a certain date. So it's basically, because I usually receive this question quite often, how long does it take? If you guys prepare your documents in 4 days or 5 days, we will try in 2 or 3 days to get back to you, to invite you to the interview. So everything can be done quite fast, but it's up to mostly you and then to us to get back to you. Okay, because I was talking about the documents that are required, which can be found on the website. All of them are in a specific template, FINS template. You can see all documents here. There is a budget, a recommendation letter, income statement. Consent form is just is optional for those who are using a co-debit or a guarantor, but you will need an academic transcript, CV, and most, really important is to see that you have an offer from the university where you want to study. I truly recommend you to download all of these documents from the website. And that's it. Let's see some questions.
I think it's very important that you first of all presented all the details. If you have more questions, you can always drop an email to Alex or to us, the EDMUNDO team. Okay, maybe don't really have now a question. Anyway, we will have to see exactly if in our chat appears something. I don't see anything. Therefore, once again, thank you, Marisa and Letizia. Oh, there is a question, of course. So we can apply for the student loan after we got accepted to university, and can we also apply while we are still in Romania? Are you asking us about the FINS loan, Esma, or you are talking about the loan that Duo gives for those that go to studies in the Netherlands?
The loan.
Okay, the FINS loan or the Duo loan? Can you unmute yourself? Okay, if you want to apply for FINS, you can do it after you apply to the university and you have at least a conditional acceptance letter. So you can apply for FINS while being in Romania. If you want to apply for the loan that Duo from the Netherlands gives you, you have to be there. You have to be enrolled at the university from the Netherlands that will enroll you. And basically after that, you will apply to Duo. Okay, good. Once again, thank you, Marisa. Thank you, Letizia and Alex as well for your participation. And we are going to enter a new webinar. Nice.